Hello, today I'm doing a review of the Double Eagle AL-96 sniper rifle. This is another of the AL-96 clones. They're all basically compatible with each other, just different manufacturers and people selling them. So let's get on to this one. Okay, so the stock, the orange section, is made of ABS plastic, and unless you use this as an axe on a tree, I don't think it's going to crack or split. Generally it feels relatively solid. The only complaint would be that, try and get it so you can see, there's a seam going through the gun, as you can see. There's not really many gaps in it. The main issue with that is that it's quite rough, and you probably will want to sand that down because it might cut your hand or just be uncomfortable to hold if you don't. So that's generally quite nice. At the rear of the gun there is multiple layers for the butt plate. The end one is rubberized and has texture to it, which I'll try and show. There we go. So you can just remove them. I've actually removed the smallest one. So yeah, you've got a couple to remove if you want. All of the screws, obviously, holding the gun together is made of metal, of course. Kind of come to expect that for this price range gun, but just thought I'd mention that. There's a mount for a sling here. It's just one piece of metal that goes through to both sides, so you can mount it on either side of the gun. Two screws here, which if you unscrew with one of the Allen keys supplied, you can raise and lower the cheek rest. But unless you're using high mounts for the scope, I wouldn't suggest doing that. That's fine how it is from stock. Has a two-stage trigger, which you can kind of see. Unless you pull the centre one, you cannot pull the trigger. The system doesn't work very well because sometimes it does get a bit jammed, as you can see at the moment, not putting the centre one. Then it clicks in again. It's kind of a not very good safety because it's not very reliable, but it's okay and it's quite a nice trigger. Now moving on to the front of the gun. There's obviously the front sling mounts, both sides once again. Metal, so you won't have any issues those breaking. Bipod mounts at the front, metal. The bulk of the receiver is made of metal. The entire bolt assembly, the cylinder, the bolt handle and the rear of the bolt is metal. Only part I can think of that is plastic on the receiver is the guide rod for the spring in the cylinder. That's plastic, and also the trigger box housing the actual box itself. That's plastic as well, but you can get metal trigger boxes, entirely metal, for about £30. But for the spring that's in this, it's perfectly fine. The plastic casing, it won't break. But a metal one would be nicer, but it's okay. But the receiver itself here is just cast, I believe, metal. Feels really solid. It's not going to break anytime soon. There's the safety here. Red means you can shoot. Black means you cannot pull the trigger. This also means that if you pull the bolt back to the rear, it will not click, therefore it will not actually prime the gun, but you can still load one to the chamber, that system. You have to take it off safety in order to pull it back and cock the gun. Okay, so that's the main basics of it. The barrel, outer barrel, does have some texture to it, you won't be able to see, but that's full metal outer barrel. It does have an orange tip, as you saw just now. In the UK you don't need that, even if you have full black guns with the UCARA membership. But if you have the American version, I would suggest keeping it on, obviously. But I think that's mainly it. It's all metal, this area. It seems pretty decent quality. It has a metal rowel. The scope and mounts do not come with this gun unless you buy a bundle which includes it, but I got this all separately. That's the basics for this. It does have some serial number on there, you can't really see. Do not know if that's unique, but it's got one. Here's the magazine. Bottom section here is metal, and then the top part, which is spring loaded, is plastic, as well as the feeder tip part itself. Magazine's okay, does misfeed a few times. You just need to eject the magazine and reinsert it to fix the issue. Give a quick look. There's the little lever latch thing you press, and it just ejects the mag out because it's spring loaded. So inside, look at the gun. You can see there's a black area here. That's because the stock itself actually has a metal like chassis platform thing inside of it, which the receiver then is placed on top. The gun weighs a decent amount. With scope and mounts it weighs even more, and generally it's just quite a nice gun. This particular one, not sure if it's because it's just the quality control was off or something, but this one is shooting really low at 270 feet per second with .2s. Not sure why. I checked, it does not have a restrictor in it like some of the WOW AL96 do. Not sure if Double Eagle just put a weaker spring in there, or whether this was just my particular one that had poor quality control of the spring or something, I don't know. But it's definitely stood the spring, there's no restrictor, I've checked, and the thing, the bolt is very easy to pull back, as you can see. It is so easy. It's quite quiet. Generally, all in all, it's quite a nice gun, even though it's shooting low FPS. Still okay for sniping at the skirmish site I go to. Got quite a few kills with this. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the gun itself. Won't bother to talk about the scope because that's, at the end of the day, as I said, that is a aftermarket one. Same with the mounts. But yeah, it's a pretty nice gun. Weighs a decent amount, I think around 3 kilograms, and just quite nice. So that was the review of the Double Eagle AL96. We'll be reviewing more guns fairly soon. So anyway, I hope this was of decent enough quality to decide whether you wanted to get this or not. So anyway, thanks for watching and have a wonderful day. Goodbye.